back to the channel. Let's go do a walk around on this. Christian said he'd video it, so maybe I can point, show, and do a little bit better of a job. But this here is actually one of my personal trucks. You hear a lot of guys, especially in the car business, for all the years we've been at it, oh, I had this was my personal vehicle, blah, blah, blah. So, this morning I grabbed the title out of the safe. And here we go. Since 2013. So that's probably when I put it on the road. So every bit of 10 years, I have owned this truck. The story behind the truck is kind of funny. It actually was owned by 3 of our very close friends, and one of them actually owned it twice. But in the process, each one did a little bit of stuff, until he got to the last guy, which has been guy number 4, which was next door to us. He ran a towing company, and a very successful fella, and money was no object when he wanted to build this truck. So he took it off the frame. This is a frame off build on this truck. He didn't go as detailed with the chassis because he wanted to get it back together and got excited. But you can see it's clean. It's very clean underneath. He got it to a pretty good point, bought most of the stuff from us. He put the 1-ton axles under it. So let's get into some details first before I get too far ahead of myself. It's a Dana 60 front, it's 456 gears, corporate 14-bolt rear that is now disc braked. When I say the stuff that we just did, when I say that, I mean we just did it like 50 miles ago. So the truck is sat in my garage. It was functional, it was drivable, it was not finished. And I'm, of course, this is what we do, and that's what my brothers do at the shop. So I couldn't drive an unfinished truck, so I literally was embarrassed of it and sat in the garage. Good news is it did sit inside. But when we built this truck, most everything I was able to get from GM. What I didn't get from GM, we got aftermarket, but we made sure it fit properly. And the body shop that did it for us is the same one that worked with us on the 8-door recently, if you follow the channel. He's very meticulous. He's a restoration paint shop, professional shop. So it was done perfect. As a matter of fact, we've got some pictures even with the door jambs off. It's as clean underneath the door jambs, underneath the door panels, as the truck is on top. We went with Viper Blue. I actually picked the color for the guy. This was the original colors of the truck, but not this particular pigment. So the Viper Blue is a lot more metallic and or pearl. And the silver goes with it really well. We put all new trim. I believe the bed sides were probably aftermarket. And we even did the inner rear fender wells. It's crazy. Nobody ever does that. The bedliner's got a sprayed in bedliner. The doors were replaced, the fenders were replaced, the hood was replaced, the inner fenders were replaced, the rocker panels, the cab corners, and it wasn't a rusty truck. It had typical surface rusting, but it was mainly scratches, dents, dings. It was an old truck, so he wanted it perfect. Steel cowl induction hood. The motor's a 355 small block. Sounds pretty good. I'll fire it up real quick. People say the exhaust should be done differently because it's hitting the downpipes. The downpipes are hitting onto the rear end. It's never going to heat the rear end up or be anything funny. So anyway, it looks good that way. It's clean. It's just enough back to be legal past the cab. A couple feet past the cab, so it's good. And the motor's not too radical. It'll idle all day long. It'll run like it's supposed to. Doors closed nice and tight. So anyway, fast forward. When I got the truck, body, paint, everything was pretty much pristine, as you can see. Trim was done, but nothing was put back together. Interior is fully gutted. Like I said, the whole truck came apart to be painted. Every panel, the back of the bed, everything is color matched perfectly. So I sent it to our guys to do the interior. We made some custom door panels. We did the custom seat. Didn't want to go crazy with it. It's got a nice couple speakers in the doors, whatever. So just recently I drug it out of the garage. We've been doing so much with square bodies, buying, selling, working on them for customers. Everybody knew about this truck, but nobody'd seen it in ages. So I brought it out. I had these 22x16 specialty Fords that had come off a newer truck, 40-inch Toyos. They were actually on a show truck slash kind of SEMA truck. The tires are a little older. They're starting to get a little bit of weather cracking, but the wheels, as you can see, are flawless, perfect. and they were a killer design when they were built. We had these wheels built for this guy years ago for the truck they were on, and they are billet, specialty forged 22 by 16 wides. So it gave it kind of a new school, old school. Again, if you follow us, we've been doing everything on boggers. We love a 39 bogger. I had 39 boggers on this truck with 18 wide bead locks at one point. It looked killer. If I have a picture, we'll try to drop it in. If you want it on 39 boggers so it looks like the other cool trucks, that's fine. So back to the specs before I lose you guys talking too much. It's a 12-inch suspension lift. It's got the off-road shackle design with greaseable fittings. It now has the Davis off-road track bar bracket system with adjustable Heim joints. It has the big crossover steering system with the proper crossover bar. Daniel and Brian just finished a bunch of stuff on it, just doodads, proper U-bolts, drive shafts. We did both front and rear drive shafts. I wanted it all matched. It has 1410 U-joints front and back, offset U-joint in the front so that it clears the cross member properly. You can full droop this truck and still use the four-wheel drive, meaning if you really do want to go hunting and off-roading, jump some dunes, this truck will do it. You see a lot of guys, like in our other videos, that we got a truck sitting right over here actually. It came in, I just never had time to put drive shaft in it. You not have time to put drive shaft in it. You couldn't figure out how to put the drive shaft in it because the drive shaft will not work at 12 inches on these trucks. And it surely will not work with the big joints and all. So we designed that drive shaft, have it cut, have it extended properly, and use the right offset U-joint to make it work with the transfer case. The back had a smaller U-joint and it was a little worn. I did the back as well. So brand new front drive shaft, brand new rear drive shaft. While I was in, we also took the stupid looking 14 bolt, big, huge rotors off and put the disc brake conversion on it. So now it has front and rear disc brakes. And that makes an amazing difference. And you can see we did all braided hoses, actually attached it to the differential like it's supposed to be. Probably should have cleaned and polished the wheels while they were off, but we didn't. It has a proper vent hose running up to the frame like it's supposed to. We had a couple people bark that they've been watching some of our videos about rear blocks. If you want 12 inches of lift, you're going to have a rear block in a square body Chevy. There's no other choice, unless you go to a custom arch spring, and then you're going to ride like a hobby horse. You're not going to be able to drive. It's going to beat your teeth out. So that's a 4-inch block, 8-inch spring, making 12 inches of lift. Good spray and bedliner, two-tone the roof and all as well. And the interior turned out really, really nicely. And a couple things that I'm a big pet peeve about on these trucks because of the fact that we're buying and selling them, and before they had to sit on the car lot. I guarantee 75% of classic vehicles when I get it do not have a proper key to the door. People keep it in their garage, they drive it to a show, they drive it home, they don't care. This was no different, and it was my truck. I had no key to the door. And now it has a key to the door. It has brand new lock cylinders that actually work and lock. The door's locked, the power windows work. All the trim is good, and it's all been greased and adjusted. It actually has a headliner. It has sun visors. The dome light works. And you can see here just kind of the level of cleanliness on all the work with the bolts proper, cleaned up everything here, painted it black. The strikers are new. The door jambs are just as clean as the rest of the truck. Even ordered some new seatbelt buckles because I just wasn't happy with the way the ones looked that were on it. Again, doors closed nice and tight. The body lines on the truck are good. The understructure, again, it wasn't a rust bucket. Look at the pictures on the website. And if I hadn't said it yet, I'm going to sell this truck. Now that it's out of the garage, I put other stuff in there. There's no need going back home. It's going to go to a new home. So this truck's up for grabs. It's 50 grand. Go ahead and drop your comments and be smart about it. We'll be able to bash it real quick if you know what it takes to build one of these trucks. Not to mention the time, because this sat in the body shop for about 2.5 years. So you can buy a done truck and not have to do it yourself. And if this doesn't suit your fancy, we did just happen to have, we're just about out of square bodies. Again, if you're following us, you already know that. The big red 1-ton just sold. The red crew cab 1-ton sold. The black 1/2-ton sold. One other slipped in that didn't even get online, but if you want to spend half the money, there's one for 25 grand. That's actually a nice truck. It's a custom deluxe, not a Silverado, but that truck just posted today as well. Very clean, good running, driving truck. just gonna go through the shop and go over, but it's sitting on rallies, factory wheels. But there's your two Spectrums, you know, big, bad, or mild, still a good truck, not ate up with rust. Probably one of the nicest square bodies you're gonna put your hands on. Besides, you know, we could have slicked the frame and used some fancier colors under it, or, you know, done something else. But for a running, driving, practical, you can drive that truck with one finger. Watch the Suburban video, because the Suburban has the identical stuff. Our 10-door Suburban has all the same springs, all the same steering, all the same track bar, and we got plenty of videos on there driving with the family, one finger driving down the highway in the middle lane. This one's no different. It all matches. So for a well-built truck, there it is. Hate to see it go, but somebody else will get way more use out of it than me, because if it goes back in the garage tucked away with all the dozens of other things in there, it will not get driven, it will not get enjoyed. So somebody's gonna be able to find some enjoyment. If you want a different tire and wheel, chat with us, we'll work with you on that, and we'll keep bringing you some really good square body content. Daniel and Brian are killing it with the custom stuff. Daniel's actually in the works on creating a couple other items that are common problems for these square bodies, and he'll have those out soon. Brian just finished up a bunch of stuff on the Suburban. So both of them, as well as us, as well as me, have garages full of square bodies. Brian just had to add on to his for more, because both his daughters drive a square body. One's in high school driving a nasty square body. And then, like I said, Daniel just was at his house, and he's got a driveway, you can't even get in. He's got so many square bodies, dualies, lowered, raised, converted. So we're fans, big fans, and it's hard pressed to put something over on us, especially when you want to talk about something that's nice and quality. So there's a personal truck that somebody can get, and doesn't make it worth any more money, but not lying when we say it. It was mine, and now it's up for grabs. So stay tuned, watch for more content.